Welcome back, ladies and gents. Today, you and I are going to be getting some practice solving both addition and subtraction problems. So let's go watch our visual learning video to get started.
Sally has 28 fewer blocks than Nigel. Sally has 26 blocks. How many blocks does Nigel have?
Think about this problem.
What information is given? What number do you need to find?
We know that Sally has 26 blocks and Sally has 28 fewer blocks than Nigel, so we need to find out how many blocks Nigel has.
You know that Sally has 28 fewer blocks than Nigel. She has 26 blocks. You need to find the number of blocks Nigel has. Who has fewer blocks? Who has more blocks?
We know that Sally has fewer blocks and Nigel has more.
Sally has fewer blocks than Nigel, so Nigel has more blocks. You can use a bar diagram to help you think about this problem. What do the numbers in the bar diagram mean?
Let's try it out. It says select a part of the bar diagram to see how it relates to the problem. So let's do this question mark, Nigel's blocks.
You don't know how many blocks Nigel has.
And that's why we have a question mark. The 28 is 28 blocks fewer.
You know that Sally has 28 fewer blocks than Nigel.
And 26 is the number Sally has.
You know Sally has 26 blocks.
The numbers in the bar diagram show that Sally has 26 blocks. And she has 28 fewer blocks than Nigel. Will you add or subtract to find how many blocks Nigel has? Why? How do you know which operation to use?
Select your answer.
I'm going to choose addition because I know my two parts, but I need to find my total. So to find a total, I'm going to add my parts together. I'm going to add 26 plus 28.
Sally has 28 fewer blocks than Nigel. That means that Nigel has 28 more blocks than Sally. You need to add. You need to add 26 plus 28 to find out how many blocks Nigel has. The addition chart shows how to add 26 and 28. First, add the ones. 6 ones and 8 ones make 14 ones. Regroup 10 ones as 1 10. Write 4 at the bottom of the ones column, and write a 1 at the top of the tens column to show the 10 you made when you regrouped 10 ones. Then add the tens. There are 5 tens and 4 ones, so the sum is 54. How many blocks does Nigel have? Nigel has 54 blocks. Now you know how to solve addition and subtraction problems.
Let's grab our workbooks and go do some practice. So make sure you're on page 398 in your workbook, and we're just going to do this guided practice problem together. Let's see what it says. It says solve the problem any way you choose. Use drawings and equations to help. So here's the problem. Lakota has 11 fewer magnets than Jeffrey. Lakota has 25 magnets. How many magnets does Jeffrey have? So I'm going to use this bar diagram down here to help me. I know that Lakota only has 25 magnets. And I know that Jeffrey has more than her because it says that Lakota has 11 fewer. So Lakota has 11 less than Jeffrey. So to find the number that Jeffrey has, I need to take the number that Lakota has and add the 11 that I know Jeffrey has more. So now I need to find how many Jeffrey has in all. So I'm going to take my 25 that Lakota has, and I'm going to take the difference of 11 magnets, and I'm going to add that up, and it's going to tell me the total number that Jeffrey has. So 5 ones plus 1 would be 6 ones, and 2 tens plus 1 would be 3 tens. So my answer is 36. That means that Jeffrey has 36 magnets. And it helps to fill in your bar diagram when you're all done, because then you can see what you solved for. Jeffrey, I think I called him Jeremy. Jeffrey has 36 magnets. Lakota only has 25 magnets, so that means that Lakota has 11 fewer than Jeffrey. We're going to watch one more quick video.
My friend Margot and I both have marbles. She has 24 of them. I have 23 more marbles than she does. How many do I have altogether? What can we do to help us solve this problem? Yup, pull out our old friend, the bar diagram. I'll write 24 on the left side and 23 on the right side, and a question mark at the top. So it looks like I need to add here. 24 plus 23. So the total is 47. I have 47 marbles altogether. And that's it. Another problem solved.
Let's go get some more practice. Okay, let's turn the page in our workbook. Let's do number 2 together. Let's see what it says. So we're going to do the same thing that we did on the last page. We're going to solve any way we want to and use drawings and equations to help us. Make sure you show your work. There are 28 more students than adults at the school fair. There are 96 students at the school fair. How many adults are at the school fair? So we know that there are 96 students at the fair, and we know that there are more students than adults. So 96 is going to be our total number. It's going to be our biggest number because we know the number of adults is smaller. So what that tells me is I'm going to draw a bar diagram with my 2 parts. I know that there are 28 more students than adults. In total, there are 96 students. So I need to find out how many adults are there. Now, whenever I have the total number in a bar diagram, that tells me I need to do subtraction because I need to take the total, subtract the part that I know to find the part that I don't know. So I'm going to set up a subtraction problem over here. 96 minus 28. And now I just have to solve. 6 minus 8, I know I can't do that, so I have to regroup, right? I'm going to cross off my 9. Now I only have 8 tens. And then I'm adding 10 more ones to my 6 I already have, which means I have 16 ones now. Now I can do some subtraction. 16 take away 8 is just 8. And then 8 tens minus 2 tens would just be 6 tens. So that means there are 68 adults. And I'm going to make sure I fill in my bar diagram here. And ladies and gents, you do need to be drawing these bar diagrams with me, if that's what I do. And then if you choose to use one, you have to show it on your paper too, okay? So let's see. There are 96 students. There are 28 more students than adults, which means there are 68 adults. That's our answer. I'm going to help you read number 3, and then you're going to solve it all by yourself. Ellie the elephant has some peanuts. She eats 49 peanuts. Now Ellie the elephant has 31 peanuts. How many peanuts did she have before? I want you to take your time, reread it if you need to, draw a bar diagram or use an equation and show your work, and then tell me the answer once you got it and come back and we'll check. Okay, I'm going to reread the question first. Ellie the elephant has some peanuts. Right there, I'm going to stop and draw a question mark. Whenever you see some, that tells me you don't know that number, and that might be what you're solving for. She eats 49 peanuts. Ooh, eats. If you eat something or if you give it away, is that addition or subtraction? That's subtraction. So subtract 49. Now Ellie the elephant has 31 peanuts. How many peanuts did she have before? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write an equation to help me solve this one, kind of like we did yesterday. So I know that she had some number of peanuts. I don't know how many, but I know that she ate 49 of them. So I'm going to take away 49 from that number. And then I also know that when she was all done eating, she only had 31 left. Okay. So now I need to solve for my question mark, for my unknown. So because I have the total and I have one of the parts, I'm actually going to add those together because 31 plus the number that she ate will tell me how many she had when she started. So 31 that she ended up with plus the 49 that she ate is going to tell me how many she started with. 1 plus 9 equals 10. So 0 ones and regroup my 10. And then 4 plus 4 equals 8 tens. So that means she started with 80 peanuts. Okay, number 5 says Sean studies 16 fewer vocab words than Chris. Okay, so 16 fewer vocab words. Chris studies 10 fewer vocab words than Tia. Tia studies 34 words. How many words does Sean study? Explain your answer. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with what I know. I know that Tia studies 34 words. That's the only number that I really know. Now to find the number that Sean studied, I have to figure out how many Chris has, because it says Sean studies 16 less than Chris, but I don't know how many Chris studied. So I need to find the number that Chris studied first. And it says Chris studies 10 fewer vocab cards or vocab words than Tia. So 34 words that Tia studied minus 10. Can you solve that? What is 34 minus 10? 24. So I'm going to say that Chris studied 24. I'm just going to put Chris's name right here. We're going to explain our work in just a minute, but first I'm just going to use the space to write out my answers here. Okay. And then now that we know the number that Chris studied is 24, we need to figure out how many Sean studied. But it says Chris studied 16 more than Sean, or Sean studied 16 more or 16 fewer than Chris. There's a difference of 16. So Sean studied some number, 16 more is the number that Chris studied, which we know is 24. So what we're going to do is another subtraction problem. 24 that Chris studied minus 16, because that's the difference. And that's going to tell us how many Sean studied. Now, I don't know I can't solve this problem right off the top of my head by writing out like this. So I'm actually going to start at 16, and I'm going to add up until I get to 24. So let's see, I know 16 plus 4 equals 20. And I know that 20 plus 4 more would equal 24. So now I just need to figure out how many I added on to go from 16 to 24. I did 4 and 4, so that would be 8. So 24 minus 16 equals 8. That means Sean studied 8 vocab words. Now we have to explain how we know our answer. And that's how we got our answer, right? We know that Tia's minus 10 equals Chris's number, which is 24. And then Chris's number minus 16 equals Sean's number. And that means he studied 8 words. So I'm just going to write out right here, Sean studied 8 words. Okay, so that's how I explained my answer. I showed my work and explained it, and then I made sure to make my answer very clear. Let's go ahead and turn the page. We got one more problem. Okay, I'm going to read number 6 and help you set it up, but then you're going to solve it. So it says, Kevin practices kicks for soccer. He kicks 13 times at recess. He kicks 14 times after school. Then he kicks 16 times before bed. How many practice kicks did Kevin take in all? So in all, do you guys remember those magic words from way back when we were just doing addition? Remember, that would be addition. So see if you can add up those numbers to try and find the total number of times that Kevin did practice kicks. Okay, take your time, use your work, show your work, and then come back to me when you're all done. So guess what, friends? This is a pretty easy problem. All we have to do is add up the 3 numbers they gave us. The 13 kicks at recess, the 14 kicks after school, and the 16 kicks right before bed. That's going to tell us the total number of kicks that he did in all. So I'm going to do 13 plus 14. And guess what, friends? I'm going to add up all 3 numbers all at once, because we are really good mathematicians and I know that we can do it. So let's do it. 3 1s plus 4 1s equals 7, plus 6 more would be 13. So 3 1s, and regrouping my 1 10, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 10s. So in all, he did 43 practice kicks. Ta-da! Good job today, ladies and gents. Let's take a look at what your assignment is. So back in our workbooks on page 399, which is where we just were, I want you to do numbers 4, 7, and 8, and then make sure you go do your quick check. And after that, today would be a great day to go do some math facts pro, and I will see you back here again tomorrow. Bye, friends.